Proverbs says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your pathway. In Psalms it says, it is better to trust God than to put confidence in man. Now I've learned to put my faith and my trust in God. He's proven himself over and over. Even through Psalm 37, the psalmist says, he was young and now he's old, and he's not seen the righteous forsaken or his seed begging for bread. And that has been my concern for my family. I'm now retired, and God has been so good to me. I have 4 children, and I've seen God's provision to educate and feed my family, to send them to their schools, wherever they'd gone, and even beyond schooling to university. And that has just been God in his provision and providing in such a remarkable way. But my testimony goes, it was just before COVID hit in 2020. I noticed I have a small investment, and I noticed that there was a drop in income. And I thought, something's happening in the world. And I couldn't understand it. And because I had suffered a loss, I was praying and asking the Lord, now, what now? Because you know how you kind of reliant on this income and this little bit of money that you have. And the Lord challenged me, and he says, the enemy is stolen from you. Are you prepared to give me double? And I thought about this, and eventually we had gone on a camp, and I went up to Pastor and I asked him to pray for me. I said, this is what the Lord has laid on my heart. And the only reason why I'm coming to you is because, you know, when I leave here, I'm going to think, did the Lord really speak to me? And the enemy will try to convince me otherwise. And so, of course, I committed my way to the Lord, and I yielded and gave what God had requested from me. Soon after that, of course, we had COVID, and that was now 2020. My son and daughter were working, and they were both working from home, and eventually they both lost their jobs. Well, my daughter had resigned, and my son, his company had pulled out of the country, and they were both jobless. And it's almost like the enemy wants to tell you, now you've given all this money to the Lord, and now what? But you know, God has proven himself over and over to me. Through the little bit of money that I had, and my pension that I get in, it's tied me over. Eventually I said, now of course there's a drop in the income because of COVID. The interest rates are not like it used to be. And I said, I had to take somebody to go and apply for SASSA, and I thought, I'm going to go and apply for SASSA. But now I didn't have all my necessary documents. And when I got to this place and I saw the crowd of people, and I thought, oh Lord, do I have to really stand in this queue? And I dropped off the person there at the queue to go and wait there in the queue. And I turned away and I said, Lord, I'm going to trust you. That very afternoon, I'd gone to do some voluntary work at somebody's home from the church to go and just assist with their little baby. And this woman asked me if I would consider taking care of her baby. And I said to her, I'm going to pray about that. But then it struck me, I just that morning said, Lord, I'm going to trust you. And I said, Lord, is this your way of answering my prayer? And I thought it would just be for 6 months. I've taken care of that little one for 1 full year. In fact, it's probably just a little bit beyond a year. But you know the remarkable thing? This journey with her came to an end, or it's coming to an end now at the end of May. But before the journey ends where I now don't have that extra income. The Lord provides a job for my daughter, and I didn't even know that this little one was leaving me at this particular time. Well, it was inevitable that it was going to happen. However, I didn't think it was going to happen right now. But God, in His mercy, provided another income so that we can carry on and not suffer lack. It just proves to me, like there's one brother that said, God werk verkeerd om reg. Now you think, how does that work? We need to humble ourselves and God will lift you up. We need to serve. If you want to be great in God's kingdom, you need to be a servant. But you know, when we put our faith and our trust in God, He comes through and He vindicates. The enemy can't steal from you. God has your back. And when He tries to take away, God gives you even more. And that has been my testimony. God has provided so much more, way beyond my expectation.